So you want to get that extra banked XP, but to get that, you need to do the heroic escalations, and they're a little rough, and you don't want to do them with randoms. So you need some help getting these heroic escalations done. Well, we've got a special build for you that will enable you to solo most, if not all, of the heroic escalations in the game. And this build was a collaboration between Blood Tracker Ghost and Vito on our Discord server. But first, I would like to give a shout out to our latest channel member, Techio. Now let's jump down into Dauntless and check out this new build. Now for the weapon, we're going to be using the temporal mechanics. I prefer this build with repeaters, but this build works really good with repeaters, warpike, or chain blades. But no matter which one you choose, you're going to be using the Chronivore weapon. For the cells, we're going to be throwing a +3 pulse and +3 parasitic into the weapon. For the chamber, we're going with Marksman Chamber. And for the grip, we're going with the Captain's Grip. Now, if you're running this build with the Warpike, I would recommend the Reckless Leap, and whichever one of the mods fits your fancy. And for the chain blades, I would go with the special Reaper's Dance, and for the mod, whichever one you prefer. For the mod, we're going with Precision Sights, and for the bond, we're going to be bonding this to the Dawnstar or whichever Rezakiri weapon corresponds to the weapon you selected. The bond is going to give us +3 cunning as well as a 12% chance to attack twice. The other advantage of this weapon combination is it's going to give you a free instant self-res, which is going to help you keep those danger levels down while you're soloing the Heska. For the Omni cell, we're going with Iceborne, and I highly recommend you go with Iceborne with this build. The whole build revolves around this I can't die mechanic, but I'm also doing surprisingly good damage. You will take a little while to kill the behemoths running through Heska, but you will get them down eventually, and that's the idea. You don't have to kill them super fast, but you're going to kill them fast enough, and you're going to stay alive while you do it. For the Lantern, we're going with Strike Zill. This is going to give us some extra attack speed just to get those damage numbers flowing a little bit faster. Works really good with repeaters, chain blades, and the Warpike. And then we're going to be putting a +3 Cascade cell in this. For the helmet, we're going to be using Sight of Stone. This is going to give us +3 tough, and we're going to put another +3 tough cell in there. And for the chest, we're going with Agaric Bowl. This is going to give us +3 parasitic, and we're going to be putting a +3 cascade cell in there. For the gloves, we're going with Boral's Might. This is going to give us +3 tenacious, and we're going to put another +3 tenacious cell in there. For the boots, we're going with Chrono Treads. This is giving us +3 pulse, and we're going to put a +3 cunning cell in there. For the tonic loadout, we're going with Blitz, Frenzy, and Ether Drive tonics, but you might want to switch out either the Frenzy, the Blitz, or the Ether Drive tonic, and I'd personally switch out the Frenzy tonic, and I know that might seem a little weird to reduce your damage. But say you're going against the Terra escalation or the Frost escalation or any escalation where the last boss is causing a lot of debuffs that are causing issues, such as the poison on the Terra escalation. That's the one that I think this trick is going to be the most important on, but it's also viable in like the Frost escalation to wipe the deep freeze off of you. And that is to switch it out for the Cleansing Pylon. So the awesome thing about the Cleansing Pylon is it removes the negative conditions from nearby Slayers. It also reduces their frostbite level by 25%. And the pylon also prevents your frostbite from going up. So this pylon is really good for the Frost escalation, really good for the Terra escalation, and it's probably going to be useful for some of the other escalations if you're struggling with the umbral damage debuff or say the fire damage debuff. But I would save these for the last fight. When you're in that last fight against the escalation boss, the Keystone Behemoth, this is going to be super, super, super useful. And for our perk breakdown, we are going with +6 Cascade on Lantern Hold, and this is why I don't want to switch out that Ether Drive tonic. It randomly generates 4 of the following boosts, either health, stamina, or power. And there's a chance for an invincibility boost. These are all going to be super useful because it's either going to give you more stamina for more dodge rolls, more power for more damage, or some healing over time. Or, of course, the invincibility thing so you have more time to get more damage in on the behemoth. I'm personally not a huge fan of Cascade, but it works really good in this build and works really good for the expressed purpose of just getting the Heska done. Then we've got +6 Cunning. This is going to give you +10% critical strike chance and +30% critical strike damage. This is going to synergize really well with Pulse. And these are basically the 2 best cells we could put into this build to add some extra damage to it on top of the Tenacious. Then we've got +6 Parasitic. When you take damage, 35% of it's going to be delayed and dealt over time over the course of 10 seconds. And while that damage is being delayed, you gain 5% lifesteal, which is also going to stack with the lifesteal from Iceborne. Then we've got +6 Pulse. The 5th hit of the weapon is a guaranteed critical strike, and it's going to do an extra 15% critical strike damage. This is going to synergize really well with Cunning to help really boost the damage this build is dealing. Now, this build is not going to do a lot of damage, but it's more about consistent damage with this build. Then we've got +6 Tenacious. For every 100 hit points you have, you gain 2% damage. Now, keep in mind, with the Slayer's Path, you're getting an extra 100 hit points. With Iceborne, you're getting an extra 100 hit points. And then we're getting even more extra hit points from Tough. So we're really getting a lot of damage overall from the Tenacious Cell. Then we've got +6 Tough, giving us an extra 500 hit points and 50% increased healing from all sources. So this is going to amplify the healing effect from Iceborne and amplify the healing effect from Parasitic, helping you keep topped off and ready to go. All right, this build's not complicated. I'm not going to show gameplay of it, but some things to keep in mind. It's not a Catalyst build. You do not need to run the Tonics. I would bring the Tonics, however, though, because it is Heska, and they're going to be useful in certain scenarios in Heska where it's going to really help you either recover health or get more damage in to try to get the fights over with a little bit quicker. So the Blitz Tonic is going to give you an increase in attack speed, which is going to be useful for health recovery from Iceborne and Parasitic, but it's also going to be useful for getting more damage in. If you're not running the Cleansing Pylon, which I would always bring the Cleansing Pylon to the Terra Escalation, at least the heroic version of the Terra Escalation. The Frenzy Tonic is going to give you a damage bonus. It's not going to be a huge damage bonus because we're not running Catalyst, but what it is going to do is it's going to increase your damage output temporarily and help you get the behemoths down a little bit faster. Heskas can take a while, so cutting any time it takes to kill the behemoth down a little bit will be really useful, especially if you're in a time pinch. So I would bring those around if you do not need the Cleansing Pylon. The Ether Drive Tonic is going to help you keep Shrike's Zill up more, but it's also going to let you drop more Cascade Orbs. That's going to give you more stamina, more health recovery, and more damage. So all in all, the Ether Drive Tonic is probably going to be one of your biggest damage bonuses because it's giving you attack speed, it's giving you extra power from Cascade, immunity bubbles so that you can get more damage in without risk, and more stamina to get more dodges in. So all in all, the Ether Drive Tonic, I think, is the one tonic. If you're going to use it for a damage bonus in a Heska, bring that Ether Drive Tonic with this build in particular. If you guys have any comments about the build or suggestions for the build, leave them in the comments section down below. I hope you guys enjoy this build. Everybody on the Discord server has been really enjoying this build. A lot of people have been using it to get their first solo kill in a heroic escalation. It has been really, really useful. And anytime we're helping people out with a heroic escalation, we've been having them put this build on just so they stay alive and help contribute to getting that done. So it's a little bit less work for us to help carry people through a heroic escalation. This build has been so good for that. If you guys are looking for a Dauntless community to join, I will have a link in the video description with my socials and our Discord server. If you guys are looking for people to play with, jump into the Discord server and say hi. If you guys are interested in doing Gauntlet, we are still recruiting actively for our guild. We recruit through the Discord server, and we are going to be active in Season 4 of Gauntlet, which launches next week, and I'm really excited to see what new sales and what new changes they've made to Gauntlet for Season 4. Speaking of Gauntlet, my next video series is going to be a how-to guide on Gauntlet, including builds for Gauntlet. Hopefully, builds are going to work really good in Season 4. They worked great in Season 3 of Gauntlet. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell for notifications of new Dauntless content coming out very, very soon. And I will see you guys in the next video.